Foundation for Defense of Democracy. Sorry, Clifford, we had the wrong name plugged in there, but appreciate you coming on. I want to ask you your reaction, the reaction in Washington today to Vladimir Putin's very interesting op-ed piece.
Well, I've heard from a number of senators and members of Congress who are saying that they were really shocked and kind of disgusted by it. He goes over the head of the American public, and he says, America's not an exceptional nation. I'm simply defending international law at a time when he's sending conventional weapons to Assad so Assad can kill over 100,000 people. I mean, it was, look, I would say the most artful piece of propaganda I've seen since the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Well, it is interesting because there seems to be a lot of egos at place here and a lot of, hubris going on. How productive is it for him to do this at this time? He seems to want to take a lot of credit for what's happening in Syria, which may be well and fine, but it's a very sensitive time at this point.
I think he's having a great deal of fun. I think he's taking a victory lap. I think he thinks he can get away with it and celebrate. The spotlight is on him. He's queen for a day or czar for a day, and he's just going to enjoy it, and he's not worried about the consequences.
What needs to be done in Geneva then between Secretary of State John Kerry and the Foreign Affairs Minister from Russia? What needs to make this a workable plan for everyone?
Not going to be easy. There has to be a resolution. Putin wants that resolution to say that military force is off the table, even if Assad does not comply. If there is no military force on the table, there is no reason for Assad to comply, and he won't. He'll be sending us aftershave lotion and saying that's the poison, take it or leave it. I think that's where that's the most important thing we're going to have here. Will there be consequences built into this resolution if Assad fails to comply? And I expect him to fail to comply.
If that happens, as you say, and many agree with you, there's a lot of skepticism out there right now, what are the possible ramifications then? Would the U.S. go ahead with a military strike even without the approval of Congress?
Well, Obama has that authority. Whether he'd use it or not, I cannot predict. I cannot read his mind. I don't know what's going on, and no one else can. If Assad clearly doesn't comply, and there are no consequences, certainly the credibility of Obama, already at a low level, will continue to sink. On the other hand, it's I can easily imagine a situation in which there is arguments over whether or not he has complied, whether or not whatever he has sent are chemical weapons, all his chemical weapons. I can see this being a debate for months and months at a time. And the question then is, does Obama get frustrated with this debate and act, or does he just let it play out for as long as it takes? Remember, for example, the UN several years ago decided to investigate the assassination of Rafiq Hariri. We believe that Assad was responsible. That investigation, last I looked, was still going on and may be going on long after you and I are retired.
So, Cliff, what is the time frame? What's the deadline? What would be a reasonable amount of time to allow this process to happen and then say enough?
Yeah, I would argue that Kerry has to establish that time frame and make it very tight. Maybe a resolution within a week, and I would get inspectors on the ground within 2 weeks, and that by that point they should have a list. That list should come immediately, really, of all the stockpiles of chemical weapons that Assad has. He knows where they are, presumably. He should give a list up immediately of where those are, and then the resolution comes, and then the inspectors go to try to take possession.
Cliff May is president of the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you for your insight, as always, Clifford.
Thank you.